Okay, next game. Again, I do feel at the lower levels you should play e4 more than d4. I very strongly feel that e4 is a better opening choice. This time I'm going to play knight c3 takes. I will take back, plays e6, and now we've actually transposed to a French. So the normal way you get the French is you get it with e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, takes, but we've actually transposed back into the French now via a different move order. And now I'm going to play bishop g5, pinning the knight here. This is an opening that I remember studying a lot when I was very young. Trade the bishop for the knight, develop my knight, guard the pawn on the center of the board. I'm going to play bishop to d3. The point is that after bishop takes d4 takes, I will have a fossil with bishop to b5 check. If I go here, so it's temporarily not actually hanging a pawn. Goes bishop b7. Now I'm going to protect the center, create the chain of 3 castles. Now here I'm going to go queen e2, and the reason I'm going to do this is because due to the pawn structure on the queen side, the pawns like this, there aren't really major threats here, and so I can actually castle queenside. If he ever goes c5, I take, and there's pressure, and now I can start to attack very quickly on the king side here. Did your barber know that you're the one and only Hikaru Nakamura? Yeah, because the barber is myself. Okay, now I have the choice, which knight do I put on g5 here? Both knights can go to g5, but I think it's not actually clear cut which one belongs there. Now the knight on f3 can move towards the center. This knight can also stand in the center. So if I go with this one, the other knight has this ability to stand in the center. If I go with this one, this knight doesn't really have the same jumps. So but it also hits f6. I'm gonna go with this knight. I don't know if this is the right knight. I'm really unsure, but I'm gonna go with it. So he takes the pawn, and now bad things happen. So I can play knight takes pawn. If he takes knight, I take with a double check, and he gets mated afterwards by queen to h5. So he goes rook c8. Good move, by the way, very good move, trying to attack on the queen side here. I think now I'm just going to drop back to g5. Knights guard each other, and I'm going to go queen to h5 and try to checkmate him. Due to the geometry of the chessboard, the f3 knight was in fact the right knight, but the e4 knight was the left knight. I don't know. It goes g6, and now I'm going to go bishop b5, try to undermine the knight and the bishop here. Is Hikaru a common name in Japan? I think it's one of the more common names, but it's not, I don't think, the most common name. Now he blunders the knight on d7 here. I will just take, and now it's very, very good because D's knights really, really well placed. The rook and the bishop guard each other. He doesn't have checkmate, so I can simply take the rook on c1. Okay, he goes bishop takes e4 check. I'm gonna take with a knight. I'm guarding everything here. It's the 8th most common name, really. Wait, seriously? Okay, I take, and now at the end of the day, my king looks a little bit scared. My king looks a little bit naked here on c1, but I can run to d1, and I should be completely fine. The king runs here, the bishop guards the rook, knight is well placed, bishop guards the rook, knight targets the bishop, and I'm pretty safe here. Nakamura is, I think, the most common last name in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So Nakamura is a very common name. Now he checks me. This is what we call spite checks, but it doesn't do anything. I just scoot over. He has no checks anymore. All the squares are covered, and now I simply have too much material. I have an extra rook and an extra knight. Goes bishop a1, and now I'm going to basically try to trade the queens or go for mate here. So I'm happy to trade the queens since I have so much extra material on the board. Let's go knight to g5. 8th name in Japan? No, I think Nakamura as a last name is the most popular last name in Japanese, or in Japan. Let's go bishop c4 and hit the pawn on e6, and then I go for rook h7 checkmate. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up and looking for tactics. Go check. Oh, I don't have a mate in 1. Do I have to king h8? It doesn't look like it, but he resigns.